Hello, you guys. I'm Carlos. I'm here today with Marla Lobo. She's the director of PT, but we're going to hear all about PT and what PT means, that stands for, here in a minute. But before we start our conversation, I want to invite you to subscribe if you're listening or seeing us on YouTube, and if you are on Spotify or Apple or whatever other place that you are seeing or receiving or hearing this podcast, please subscribe and pass it on to as many people that you may think that they are interested in the work that we're doing here at the annual conference. So with that in mind, I would like to ask Marla, would you mind introducing yourself to the good people of the Oklahoma Annual Conference? I mean, people may know you by now, but yes, just in case.
Sure. Thanks for having me today. First of all, I appreciate it. So as Carlos said, I'm Reverend Marla Lobo, and I serve as the Director of Project Transformation Oklahoma. And you may know that Project Transformation is our conference's summer literacy program that serves children in elementary school who are behind in their reading and live all over Oklahoma. And so they're elementary between first grade and fifth grade. We hire college-age young adults to run our 8-week summer literacy day camps. And in addition to working with their reading, children take part in STEM and recreation and art and take field trips and just have a really great summer. And we just finished our 23rd summer of serving Oklahoma children.
23. Wow, that's big. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's great. 23 years of serving Oklahoma, huh? So tell us about the successes. Let's go for it. The successes from 2025 in the summer.
Yes. Well, I am happy to share our outcomes. We had such a great summer. So this summer, we were able to expand the number of locations. So we had our camps in 6 United Methodist churches, up from 4. And I just want to, first of all, give a shout out to those 6 sites. This summer we had sites at Muskogee, St. Paul, in Tulsa Southern Hills, here in Oklahoma City at Chapel Hill, in Ponca City at First, in Shawnee at St. Paul, and El Reno Wesley. And because everybody all worked together, we were able to serve 268 children. And so that was almost double the number of children that we were able to serve in 2024. And we had 36 great young adults that we hired and led our summer literacy day camps at these locations. So when we think about reading outcome, because we're a reading program, we had wonderful outcomes. So 98% of our kids who participated in our program maintained their reading. And if you drill that down a little bit more, 84 actually got better at their reading. So not only did they go back to school this year, did they go back more confident readers, but just more confident in general of their ability to academically do all of their subjects, because reading is foundational to working in math or social studies or any sort of subject. And so we were delighted to be able to offer those 268 children a brighter school year. So some other things that we don't really think about as part of the summer is we served nearly 19,000 free meals across all of our sites. All of our children come from families that are under-resourced, where food insecurity is a big deal in the summertime because there is no school lunch. So we had, across our 6 sites, nearly 19,000 free meals. And then we also gave away more than 2,500 books. So we sent home books to children so that they can share with siblings, with other relatives, and just have their own books. Because one of the things that we've discovered is a lot of time it's just a lack of access to books that children have. And then there's one more statistic I kind of want to share with you from the summer, which is when you think about all the kids across all the sites, we provided nearly 34,000 hours of free enrichment.
Wow.
So parents didn't have to wonder where their kids were or what they were doing. The kids were having a great time and they were learning.
That's awesome. Because Project Transformation runs 8 weeks.
Correct, all June and July.
June and July. So yes, if you are a parent that needs to work and you have to worry about, sourcing that, is either too expensive or you just worry about it. And it is great that they have their kids.
What they're eating, what they're
Yes,
doing,
exactly.
who they're with, and so we are thrilled with all of the many, many hundreds of volunteers and donors to be able to offer this resource to Oklahoma children.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's a huge ministry and impact in the lives of hundreds of kids.
And I'm sure most Oklahomans by now have heard that Oklahoma has fallen to 50th in education. But just to kind of put that perspective in for reading, we now have 78% of Oklahoma fourth graders read below grade level. 78%. So we're happy to do what we can to be able to address that need.
That's sad. So thank you for what you do, and it's obviously a big needed ministry. So what is next for PT? What is I know
what's on tap?
Yes, exactly. So I'm understanding that summer is over, and now you just get into a nice comfy chair.
And then we just kind of like think about what a great summer it was.
And you wait for the next summer, right?
Right. No. So we are busy all the time at PT, and I'm going to tell you, we have some really cool things on tap.
Yeah, please do.
So the first one I want to talk about is both an opportunity and a challenge. And it has to do with the young adults that we hire to work with Project Transformation. And so for more than 20 years, Oklahoma has been the recipient of an AmeriCorps grant. AmeriCorps is the federal agency for national service. And what we did was we used that grant money to basically pay for the young adults that we hired, what we paid them, their education award, all of the things that went into that. And so we are no longer partnering with AmeriCorps, which, like anything, creates both opportunities and challenges. So I want to talk a little bit about the opportunity first. So the young adults that we hire, since AmeriCorps is a federal agency and they're federal dollars, we have not been able to, as a church, as a people, be able to offer them as many opportunities we would like to around spiritual formation and vocational discernment. And so, as you may know, PT is actually part of a national network. So there are other chapters of Project Transformation who really have been doing vocational discernment and spiritual formation with young adults this whole time for 20 years. And so now we get to do those things too. Yay. And so just to kind of put that in perspective, what that means specifically for us is PT defines vocation as basically the really lifelong process of understanding our authentic self and how God is calling us to make our greatest contribution. And during a summer of service, we do that in 4 ways. Number 1 is intentional community. All of our young adults live together, so we've kind of been doing that now. Servant leadership, I think we do that really well. But there are 2 pieces we haven't been able to do at all. One of them is identity formation, and the other one is spiritual disciplines. And so now we get to fully lean out into that with the young adults that we hire. And so what that looks like for Project Transformation is we have a new position that will be starting in the summer of 2026 called community directors, summer community directors, and we'll have 4 of them. And the best way to describe what a community director does is they're kind of half resident advisor, like you'd have in a dorm, and the other half spiritual advisor. And so the community director takes care of the young adults so that the young adults can take care of the kids. And so they're responsible over the course of the summer for planning and coordinating and facilitating the intentional community, worship experiences, small group experiences, and just spiritual life throughout the summer. So we are super excited about really leaning into developing our young adults, right?
That's great.
The other thing that this comes with is we also have started, and we've already hired, a year-round community director. And so we're actually contacting alumni that have served with PT in the last 5 years to invite them to take part in this thing, because we know that not only is college a time of feeling very untethered and finding new norms, but even that first job out of college can feel that way too. And so we want to bring young adults together, both virtually and in person, once a month, to just kind of a touch point and to support them wherever they are. So we've already hired a community director to serve this year, and we already have about 10 participants. Both we're sharing a community director with PT Arkansas, since we share a bishop, and so we have a PT alumna. Her name is Nugget Settles. She lives in Little Rock, and she's a master's student at the Clinton School of Social Work. And so she's just going to convene these young adults, meet them where they are. They'll plan things to do together and just to kind of stay connected in that way. So, and all of this community director work is made possible by a Lilly grant that Project Transformation received.
Tell us more.
Yeah. so that's really the Lilly grant that Project Transformation received is specifically about young adult vocational discernment and development. And since PT National as an organization has done this for more than 20 years, they actually invited PT National to apply for a grant. And so now we get to live into that.
That's awesome.
So
that's great.
The other part of this is with the loss of the AmeriCorps funding is that we're now looking to replace all of these federal dollars that we're going to be no longer receiving. And so we're looking at replacing those over about 2 years. And so we have kind of discerned that it costs us about $5,000 for each young adult. So that's the money we pay them throughout the summer. That's the payroll taxes, training, background checks, that sort of stuff. And so we're actively looking for partners we're looking at grants and all different kinds of things to kind of replace that money over the course of that. So that's the challenge part. Yeah. So we have this fantastic opportunity, but also the challenging part of that. Kind of changing gears a little bit.
Before we move on,
yes.
So you are just for the good people of Oklahoma. If your heart it is on literacy and the impact that is needed in our state, we cannot stress enough. PT is a good way that you can get involved. Yes, volunteer, but also right now in the opportunities and the challenges that you can also donate financially, so that we can keep going with PT and make it sustainable long term.
Well, and I think that's kind of, I was going to suggest that as an option, which is we would encourage individuals and churches, maybe Sunday school classes. There may be philanthropic organizations that our members are, or businesses, because we prepare young adults for the workforce as well. We'd love to have a conversation with you about possibly donating to PT, so to support our young adults. And but yes, and so we are actively looking to replace all of these monies, and we would appreciate your consideration about that. For our young adults, if you look at the 36 young adults that served with us this year, virtually every one of them was on some kind of a scholarship. And some of them were academic, some of them were band, and all different kinds of scholarships. But what they have told us is they are also losing federal dollars at their institutions, and so there are fewer scholarships for less amounts, and they're more competitive. So our young adults are feeling kind of the double whammy.
Sure.
So what I would say is we want to continue this program so that we can continue to reach our Oklahoma children, but we're all supporting also supporting the young adults by giving them money for school. We provide free housing and most of their things, so they can earn with us next summer $4,250 that they can apply to school. And so, so you're all donations not only directly impact children, they're also impacting directly the lives of the young adults who serve with us.
Right, that's why I was just thinking that the impact is, as you say, not on the children, but it's an investment on the children, future generations, but also young adults who, as you're saying, you're training them for the workforce in Oklahoma and abroad, but hopefully particularly in Oklahoma. So.
Well, and many of them are staying in Oklahoma.
Yes.
I mean, there are teachers of all different varieties who served with us this summer. Elementary educators, band teachers, music educators, early childhood, kind of preschool, art teachers, school counselors. Psychology majors, police officers, corrections professionals. These are the leaders of our communities tomorrow, and they're feeling the crunch of being able to finish their education.
Yeah.
So we want to do what we can to support them as well.
That's great. That's awesome.
So.
Sorry, interrupted you.
No. But so I think that's a good. I was going to share our great need for that. So, I wanted to share with you one brand new thing we're doing in PT.
Please do.
Which is we realized that our summer program, 10 weeks with young adults and 50, 60 kids, is not a model that fits all of our Oklahoma communities and churches.
Sure.
They have it doesn't fit. And so we are actively piloting a brand new program called PT After School. And PT After School takes place just one day a week. The church chooses the day. It's 2 hours. It's all volunteers from the local church and local community. So there's not a lot of financial upfront. And so kids still come in, they read one-on-one with an adult volunteer, and then they do one of the other PT rotations that the site picks. It might be the art rotation, it might be the recreation rotation. They have a snack, they receive a Bible study lesson, and then they go home. And so Duncan First and Bartlesville First are actually receiving their kids tomorrow. So they start tomorrow.
Right. So tomorrow,
tomorrow will be October the 7th. It will be the first PT After School meetings ever in Oklahoma. And then our third pilot site, which is in Wilburton, is going to start on October the 22nd. Right after fall break. And so we are super excited about this. And our hope is if this model works, then we can make it available to any of the churches in our conference. And so we were really appreciative this year that a Woodworth grant funded creation of the libraries in each one of these locations and just underwrote the consumable supplies, which are not much. I mean, it's a snack and some supplies for rotations this year. So we are grateful to Woodworth Trust for being able to underwrite that. So.
And I'm glad that it isn't, a way, not a way, but in many ways, not in metro areas per se, but it is in these other locations. That it is on.
So, we hope that PT will continue to move forward with our traditional summer model and then be able to offer this PT After School model for maybe perhaps smaller communities that would like to do something for the children in their schools but are not going to be able to put together the entire summer program.
Summertime, but they can do it one day at a time.
1 week at a time, because if you over the entire school year, each participant child will basically have the same number of reading sessions that they get in the summer.
And reading hours
Yes, exactly. So it'll all kind of translate into the same thing. It's just over the course of a school year as opposed to 8 weeks intensive in the summertime. So that's
awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yes.
Well, congratulations. And that's so exciting. It is so exciting. So October the 7th, tomorrow, whenever it is posted this, but October the 7th, it is when the first two pilots.
Yes. And awesome. Bartlesville first and Duncan first.
That's awesome. That's great.
And then Wilburton will be joining them as well. So.
All right. I like PT after school.
PT After School.
That's awesome. All right. So how can probably I was jumping ahead on these things, but this is when you have your trustworthy cheat sheet. So how can the good people of Oklahoma and the listeners in general can support and help PT?
I would add that if, we've talked about donations to underwrite young adults, but if you are aware of a grant that we might be able to apply for, or someone that you feel might be amenable to underwriting project transformation young adults, please contact us. We'd love to hear from you. And if you want to make the introduction or give us the information, we can pursue it. So please consider helping us in that way. So we invite you to go check out or volunteer at a PT after school site. Every week they are going to need about 12 different readers, and so they're looking forward to that. So it's also an opportunity to kind of see a PT after school site, kind of think about it for your community for next year,
Yes.
but also to support them
Yes.
as they get this important work. And then, kind of down the road is thinking about next summer.
Yes, of course.
So we're finalizing our list of sites for 2026, and those will be available for in November. So we'll be able to share those. So watch our Facebook page, and we'll tell you about the sites we're going to have for summer 2026. And we invite you to just support them with volunteers and supplies. It is totally an effort of not only the local community, but our community as a people called Methodist in Oklahoma.
Yes, I cannot stress enough that part, because I had the privilege of hosting PT. One was during the height of the pandemic, so we couldn't do basically nothing other than, well, not nothing, but we passed a lot of food, like tons of food, like literally tons of food for families. That was the thing. Then the next year was small, because we still were basically on the pandemic and the masks and the whole thing. But yes, our church could not handle it us by ourselves. We needed help. And the churches around us came and supported us, gave us volunteers to read, food to eat, snacks, and just a good, you had it, hang in there, you can do this kind of thing. It was just great. So even you say, well, we can maybe cannot handle, as Marla's saying, we can handle even one day a week. We cannot, but we can support our brothers and sisters from a sister church that is around us, and we can support snacks, reading, volunteers, whatever it is that you can do for them. That's it.
Chaperones for a field trip in
Chaperones,
the summertime.
yes. Anything and everything.
Yes.
Takes a village.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, is there anything else that you want to say, or we need to wrap it up? What do you say?
I just want to say thank you. There's Project Transformation continues to touch the lives of children and young adults because of you. And many people have volunteered in our churches with PT for many years, and we would invite you to continue to supporting our vital work in Oklahoma, and just say thank you.
And with that, thank you, and see you next time.